Alright, I wanted to do another video on a review for anyone that's out there that's looking to get some type of firearm, and so you could kind of get a review on the company that I'm getting ready to speak about. The name of the company is called Superior Pawn. They also have a shooting range on the side of it. I do not recommend Superior Pawn for one of the reasons they basically kept my gun that I had purchased. From another company online because I found the actual firearm for a lot cheaper than they had it in Superior, right? So what I did was I purchased it online, and then I had them transfer it over to Superior Pawn. At this particular time, I didn't know anything about Superior Pawn. I never looked at their reviews. Look at their reviews, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Because when I went to go look at their reviews afterwards, there's like a car accident. After I looked at their reviews, come to find out that the whole company is nothing but criminals, and that they have been in trouble time after time after time, and it seems like they're never going to stop. So, but that was after the fact that I found out by looking at the reviews. Well, what happened was, once they transferred my firearm over to a Superior Pawn and Guns, I got when I actually put a alert with the company that I purchased the gun from, and I wanted them to email me when they had shipped it, and then when they had actually arrived at the transfer place, which was Superior Pawn. Alright, so I get an email saying, alright, we were shipping it out, it should be there in like 2-3 days. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I get another email, yeah, we just dropped it off, 3 days later, we just dropped it off, thanks for doing business with us, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm waiting, I'm waiting the next morning. I didn't get a call. So I said, well, maybe they just, maybe it's just, they don't, something they don't see right at the moment. And then I'll call them. So I called them at like, I don't know, right at noon. And then, and I think noon, and then right at 2 o'clock. So when I called them at noon, they said something to the effect of, we're really busy. Can you give us a call back? Did we call you? I'm like, nah, y'all didn't call me. And they said, well, it may have not arrived yet. And I'm like, nah, it's arrived. It's just you guys haven't, I don't know what you guys are doing, but you just haven't done what you're supposed to do. So after that, what happened was, I ended up going down there, right? And when I got there, I said, hey, I transferred the firearm over here. What's the status on that? And then they're still looking at me like they don't know what's going on. They're acting as if, they don't know what I'm talking about. What happened after that, they said, well, you know, you got to fill out some forms. Have you filled out the forms yet? And I'm like, nah. But you know, do you have the firearm? They're still not telling me if they have the firearm. You know, it was a big runaround. It was almost like they didn't want me to have my own firearm that I purchased, right? So, and come to find out, they are doing that, especially if you're black. They're making sure that you won't get it if they don't. You know, they're trying to make it seem like it's hard to get. It should not take you, for those that want to know how long it takes, and then I'll get back to the story. It should not take you no longer than 24 hours into getting your firearm. How do I know this? Well, I spoke to a guy that owns a gun shop. He's a prior Marine, and he's the one that actually ended up getting the firearm, you know, getting it promptly. He didn't really get it promptly taken care of from me, but he told me who to call as far as making Superior Pawn give me my firearm. Okay, so after they made me fill out the paperwork. Well, they didn't make me fill out the paperwork, but I filled out the paperwork, and that was like a transfer fee, and to run a background check and all this stuff. So I submitted all that in, right? All to tell me is that they're not they're not going to give me the firearm, and not only are they not going to give me the firearm, they're still going through the database, and they're still trying to see if I'm eligible to get a weapon. I mean, a firearm, right? So I already know that my background is clear. There's nothing on my background. Everything is clear, right? All right. So I walks out, and I'm feeling like, wow, this is crazy, because I know that, you know, you have my firearm, but for the longest you try to pretend like you didn't have it, and then you said that to me, that you don't know where it's at. Then when I came down there, then you start to looking for it. Then you found it, and now you're putting me through this whole ordeal, right? And this should be a flag for if you're really listening to what I'm saying. If you're really listening to what I'm saying, all right. And I hope you're really listening to what I'm saying. This is a flag telling you, okay, what they feel about you and how they're treating you and all of this. This is a flag, but I hope you're really listening to me. So from there I leaves, and I goes to another pawn shop, which is the pawn shop I told you, where the Marine works at, or he's a Marine, he owns the pawn shop. I believe his pawn shop is shut down. It didn't make it through COVID. He actually tried to get me to buy it. I wasn't interested. And it's a good thing, because he wasn't obviously making money through the COVID. Well, from there, I goes to another pawn shop, and I says, you know what, I'm going to go to another pawn shop, and I'm going to ask them some questions, and I'm going to figure out what the time frame is and how long it's supposed to take once, you know, they figure out that you're clear, have a background that's clear, and once they find out that you know, the weapon is yours, the firearm is yours, right? All right. When I goes in and I ask this guy, he says, yeah. He says, they're supposed to been and give you your weapon. He says, how long you been waiting? I said, well, man, I said, I've ordered it past 3 months ago, and it made it to them within like 2-3 days. He says, man, no. I says, yeah. He says, no, they're supposed to been had your weapon. He says, let me call now for you. So he picks up the phone and he calls who does the actual background check, right? All right. So I'm sitting here like, man, this guy don't. I'm not knowing, but I'm thinking, man, this guy don't really understand what just happened here, man. He's like, no. He says, he says, the guy on the phone. He says, yeah. He says, man, you should have been and had the weapon, your firearm. He says it's been approved. He says, you know, for a minute there we was checking, but he's like, no. He said you should have had that way a whole couple months ago. I says, really? He says, yeah. He says, I says, all right. So I get off the phone with this guy, and I think there was some type of police officer or something. But I gets off the phone, and he says, the guy at the pawn shop, the Marine guy at the pawn shop, the owner of the pawn shop, he says, if I were you, I would go back to them, tell them that my weapon is here, and that if you do not give me my firearm, then I'm going to call the person that approves it. And I says, okay, all right. So I did just that. Do you know, immediately they give me the firearm. Okay. So Superior Pawn, I do not recommend Superior Pawn at all. All right. You're going to have a hard time with Superior Pawn. All right. Hope this helps, give you some value. Take it easy.